Is that one the old trail, Dad, or is this the old trail?
The land has always been important to Pelly Banks member Harold Smith and his daughter-in-law, Erica Gilson. But as an unrecognized First Nations government, the Pelly Banks people aren't eligible for funding and have little say in what goes on in their traditional territory. One particular sore point, the Kutzakaya mine. The proposed open pit project would primarily mine silver and zinc.
We're the closest to where that mine is going to go in. We have a home that's built like 10 kilometers from where they're proposing this mine.
Pelly Banks was not included as one of the impacted Kaska First Nations in a 2022 decision document regarding the proposed mine.
Pelly Banks has never been brought to the table, yet it's on our doorstep.
That's why Pelly Banks wants to be recognized as its own First Nation. Their people say they were wrongfully amalgamated with another band in the 1950s and want to be reinstated. In the Yukon, two formerly amalgamated bands have since separated to form their own First Nations.
The Indian Act so far really divided our people.
Pelly Banks Crow Clan chief Tesloa Smith says the only option for his people's reinstatement is Section 17 of the Indian Act. That would mean Pelly Banks would have to be recognized as a new band.
And we keep saying to the government that we're not a new band, we're a band all along with our leaders intact.
Smith says if reinstated, the band would also fall under the Indian Act and their assets would be divided with Ross River. But he argues other Kaska First Nations funding and services should not be impacted.
We're still trying to pursue that, but in a way that we want it as a traditional government rather than the Indian Act. But they're always pushing that Section 17 to us.
The federal government's been very clear about no new monies, whether it's for new treaties, new negotiations, or anything.
Gabrielle Slowey is an associate professor in the Department of Politics at York University, where she teaches courses in Indigenous and Arctic politics. She says Section 17 appears to put the onus back on the community to do the work of reinstatement.
The federal government now has created sort of this pathway that, again, as you said, puts the onus back on the communities, sort of like, okay, we created the problem, you guys figure it out.
Last year, the federal government gave Pelly Banks a small amount of funding to hire a researcher to help them produce historical record documentation. Gilson says while the funding isn't nearly enough, it's a positive sign Canada is recognizing the harm it's caused.
However, it's a big step, and it's a step that was missing for 73 years.
While their band might be forgotten by the federal government, Gilson says the Pelly Banks people won't stop fighting until they're rightfully recognized.
The biggest message that we could give the world today is that we're still here. We're still alive. We're still on our land, walking our trails that were here thousands of years before any government ever came here and told us whether we have the right to exist or not. Who are they to tell us that we have the right to exist or not?
Sara Connors, APTN National News, Pelly Banks.